Hello everyone, it's time for another Animal Crossing tour. In case this is your first time here, I like doing the occasional themed Animal Crossing island. I work on them live over on stream and then we tour them together here. So this island is one I actually started over a year ago, but I had taken a big break from working on it because I had gotten super burnt out, like going from island to island so close together, and also just kind of burnt out from the game in general. But when they announced the most recent update, that renewed my energy for the game a little bit and I was able to get back and finish it off. So this island we'll be touring today is my third themed island, or fourth if you include my main forever island. This is a natural forest island and it's called Mossdeep. In case you didn't know, all my islands are named after towns in Pokemon, and that name just felt like a good fit for the natural woody vibe I was going for. So for the villagers on this island, we have Punchy, Nan, Yuka, Gladys, Elmer, Poncho, Sylvana, Ozzy, Blair, and Olive. I was trying to avoid duplicate villagers where possible, but Olive and Blair were both on my Fall Town island as well. I do still think they're really good fits for this island, so it's okay. And also, I can be a little bit picky with my taste in villagers, so that's kind of contributing as well. There's also a couple of villagers, not naming any names, but there's a couple that as I was sort of finishing up the island and I saw them walking around, I was like, I don't love them for this island, but I am running out of time for my self-imposed deadlines, so it is what it is. So with all that said, let's crack on with the tour. Oh, Yuka's here as well. Hi, Yuka. So here at the island entrance, we have the airport, of course. I had to go for the green airport. And then we have some cliffs flanking the entrance up to resident services. A lot of the island is just like trees and bushes and flowers and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go like super in depth to all those areas. But off to the left, we have the path over to Able Sisters. So here, of course, the path leads up to the tailor shop. And then they also have this little outdoor area, a little outdoor seating area. I know that they both are like always working. They like never take breaks. But I like to imagine that with the forest life, I feel like hopefully it would be like a little bit more laid back and they would give themselves time for breaks. They could come out and, you know, do some crafting, do some reading, have some tea. And if a customer walked up, the path is like right there, so they'd hear them and it would be fine. I also gave them a little flower garden. I was mostly sticking with like pretty neutrally colored flowers, but I did want like a little something going on for them. I don't know. So they have like a little flower garden just for a little pop of color. And then coming back onto the main path, like I said, this is the way up to resident services. I haven't changed the flag. Oh, hi again, Yuka. I haven't changed the flag, so it's just the default flag. But honestly, the green leaf, it kind of fits anyway. And back behind resident services is a lot of forest. So we're gonna go left first. Over here we have more forest. But we have this little like neighborhood bit as well. I was trying not to make anything like, oh, Nan's there. Hi, Nan. I was trying not to make anything like too built up. Like I didn't want loads of shops close together, loads of houses close together, anything too like urban or even suburban or whatever. I didn't want anything too like manufactured, I guess. I was trying to keep it all very natural. So I was trying to keep a lot of the houses quite spread out. This is sort of the most structured section of the island, basically, is this little neighborhood. This was inspired by a Pinterest post and I just kind of made it a little bit more natural and foresty. So over here we have this is Nan's house, Olive's house, and Blair's house, I believe. I could just read the signs. Why am I trying to remember? Something in my eye trying to sabotage the tour. In case you're looking at this and you're like, that is not Nan's house exterior. I did change the houses a little bit. I didn't want to like completely remove any individuality from them, but I did want to make them like a little bit more cabiny and a little more neutrally colored where possible. Like you'll see further on, there are a couple with like some bright colors, which is not really the vibe I was going for this island. So I did change the house exteriors a little bit. And then I also did redo the house interiors, but I didn't do like full builds for them. In previous islands, I have like completely revamped all of the villager houses. This time I didn't really have time to do that. I kind of left it a little bit last minute for my sort of self-imposed deadline for finishing this island. So I was trying to make as little changes as possible. There are some that I had to like kind of completely redo, but for a lot of them, I tried to kind of keep it pretty much the way that it was and just make small changes. Nan was one of my starter villagers, so she didn't have her original house design. She had one of those like basic ones like that your first normal villager gets. So I just kind of modified that a little bit. So here is her interior. I know that Nan and I think it's Chevre, they have like each other's pictures in their house design. But like I said, she didn't move in with her normal house design, so I didn't have access to the picture. So unfortunately, I couldn't put it in this build, but imagine that it's in here somewhere. And then here we have Olive's house interior. Again, like I said, tried not to make too many changes. Okay, I just realized that my switch was going to the same audio track as my microphone, so hopefully that is not messed up in the first bit of the recording. Anyway, this is Blair's house interior. She has a sort of like flower theme going on, like a sort of like bouquet station, I think is the vibe. I really like that, so I did want to kind of keep that. Even though this isn't a bed I would usually use, it's not really to my taste, I wanted to stay true to her original design. Okay, moving down from this sort of little neighborhood area. Oh, Nan's picking up sticks. Love that. Moving down from this little neighborhood area, we have another sort of little neighborhood. Is it a neighborhood if it's only 2 houses? I don't know. But here we have Punchy and Ozzy's house. Punchy and Ozzy are 2 of my lazy villagers. So in case you didn't know, the lazy villagers talk a lot about eating food. I gave them a little farm. I gave them a couple of fruit trees. I'm trying not to use too many fruit trees throughout the island, but I did give them a couple. A little gardening shed. They've got a little well over here. And then down here, I also gave Ozzy a little grill. They've got a little hammock, and that is very hard to navigate because that bit is just forest. Oh no, Punchy's feeling under the weather. Uh-oh, I was just saying Punchy's home, so I could just record his little house B-roll now, but he's feeling sick, so we'll have to, when we get around to the shop, we'll have to stop and pick him up some medicine, okay? Don't let me forget. Punchy was the first lazy villager to move to the island, so he ended up with that log cabin house design that they get instead of his original house design, which I do really like, especially with the sort of like fruit theme thrown in. So I just made some small changes to that, and this is what his interior looks like now. Okay, bye Punchy, I hope you feel better soon. Anyway, Ozzy's not home right now, but I will show you what his interior looks like. Ozzy's is one of the houses that I had to spend a little more time on. His original house interior is like a little workshop classroom area. It's pretty cute, but as I've said a couple times in previous videos, I like the villager interiors to look like actual living spaces, so sadly it had to go. But I did try to keep like a little bit of that sort of DIY theming. He also had this little hamster cage originally. I wouldn't have necessarily like given that to him, but yeah. Okay, moving back up from the sort of like I said, kind of a neighborhood. We are going to make our way north a little bit through the, like I said, with all the trees and stuff, it is a little hard to navigate some bits of the island, but that's okay. We've got our river on one side. We've got kind of a pond, lake, part of it opens up into another river on the other side. I don't know. But we follow the path around here. We won't go up these stairs yet. We're actually going to come across here first. My voice went a little bit there, but anyway, up here we have a little sort of like clearing in the forest for doing some yoga. I don't really have a whole lot of areas like this on the island. Like I said, I didn't really want to do like too many sort of like builds and make it look too like built up, basically. Not that this is built up at all, but you know what I mean. But I did think that this would be kind of like a cute thing with sort of like, especially with like those 3 houses down there, and there's another villager house just across the water there. People can kind of like come and gather and maybe like do regular little yoga in the forest. I feel like that would be a really, really nice activity, to be honest. So yeah, up on this cliff, we just have trees and then the yoga bit. And back across the water we go. Oh, I'll just quickly show you down the sides. I didn't really decorate the beaches. Oh, there's a DIY bottle there. That's okay. I didn't really decorate the beaches that much. I did kind of, you know, chuck some plants in like along the edge, but I'll just show you really quickly. So we're down, we are down by Punchy and Ozzy's house now. And I'll just run along the outside so that you can see. And likewise with the pier, I didn't really do anything with the pier. Honestly, the pier is not really like well, the pier is fine, but Captain's boat is like not really in keeping with the themes that I was going for, but it's there. It's there by choice, or not by choice, sorry, the opposite. It's there by default. You can't really do anything about it. So I didn't really decorate it. I wouldn't have known what to decorate it with to like fit the forest theme. Words are difficult. So anyway, that's the sort of edge of the island, basically. So Yuka's house is an example of one of the villager houses that was like a little bit more brightly colored. I think the like building part of the house was blue and her roof was like orange, I think. She's a blue koala, for those who don't know, and she wears like an orange sweater a lot of the time. It looks really cute, but it was like too brightly colored for what I was doing. Like I said, I didn't want to completely remove all personality from the exteriors of the builds, so I did leave her with the blue door and sort of like orangey thatched roof, so it's still got like a little bit of the same colors, but just a little more toned down to fit in better with the island, basically. So Yuka's got this little log lounger. She's got a little bath back here, living the life, I think. Yuka's one of those villagers. I think she's a snooty villager, and the inside of her house was kind of like a little bit fancier I tried to sort of keep that a little bit while also making it look kind of cabin-y, which I kind of struggled to sort of merge those two themes together, but I think it turned out okay. And we will continue along. Over on the other side of the river is, unsurprisingly, more trees, more forest, but we will follow this path along the river. Originally I was gonna maybe put like like stairs or something here, which is why the path kind of goes down to nothing, but then I didn't end up doing that. So anyway, we will hop across the river again, and here we have Blathers. Now, as you can see, Blathers is still in his tent. I didn't think that the big museum building would really fit with what I was doing. So Blathers is still in his tent. In case you didn't know, if once you put the tent down, you can't move it in its intent form, so keep that in mind. But if you just never donate anything, then he never upgrades to the museum, because you have to donate 15 things to get the museum. And if you just never give him, the 15 stuff, then he just stays in his tent. So anyway, he's got like a little campfire kind of thing going on. He's got a little telescope. I can't get back there. Go back. There we go. He's got a little telescope. Oh my gosh, a bug. Blathers would not like that. I actually was just thinking when about the campfire as well. Like, Blathers, I don't think would like camping because he doesn't like bugs, and there's a lot of bugs when you're camping. But anyway, so we just gave him this little sort of outdoor research center. The encyclopedia's turned to the butterflies, but you know what? We can just pretend that maybe there aren't any bugs around this bit. So yeah, Blather's little outdoor research bit. I think it turned out pretty cute. This is also one of the areas that's like a little bit more built up than most of the rest of the island. But I think it still sort of keeps that natural theme, and I'm really happy with how this bit turned out. I'm like getting a little bit toasty while I'm filming this. And to be fair, it is like the beginning of May, and I am wearing a sweater. It's not exactly sweater weather, but that's okay. Anyway, coming over from where Blather's little section is, I guess this is the best way to go. This section of the island is like not super navigable, to be honest. But that's okay. It's a forest, and you know, sometimes the forest is not easy to get around. Like, that's just the way that it is, so that's okay. Anyway, up here we have the campsite. You know, the campsite is empty, obviously, but you know, imagine that there was a person staying here. We've got our little toothbrush by the pond. Is it a pond? I guess it goes into the waterfall, but then the waterfall doesn't go anywhere, so. Which isn't a real thing. A friend of mine, when I was doing that bit on stream, they were like, I love that this waterfall goes nowhere. Because they're a geologist, and they were like, yep, that is definitely realistic. But anyway, we have the little campfire over here. We got some tree stumps to sit on. Well, my character won't sit on them, but there we go. They're a little like far from the campfire, but because they're like chopped down trees, it's kind of a faff to move them around and get them to the right place. So I think it's pretty cute though. You don't want it like too cramped anyway, so. But anyway, yeah, here's our little campfire at the little campsite. We have our little hand washing station back there. They're not all little. I don't know why I put that in front of every word I said. I also did not mean to jump over here. I didn't actually know that you could jump across cliffs. I thought it was only across water. So that's new. But back here is just more forest, which is also hard to get around. Whoops, that's okay though. And we got a little pond back here behind. We're at Nook's Cranny, in case you didn't see that. We're at Nook's Cranny. So we got more forest back here. I did put a couple of bamboo trees in, only that one and like one over by the entrance. I wasn't sure whether they fit the sort of mental image that I was working from, like as my sort of theme inspiration. I was kind of on the fence about it, to be honest, but I decided to just leave a couple. I was like, if I put too many bamboo trees, it's gonna be too bamboo-y. It's gonna be too bamboo-y, and that's like a different vibe. So I've got a couple. I guess that's the end of that thought. Anyway, Nook's Cranny is here. I did say I need to go buy some medicine for Punchy. I remembered. Take that, ADHD. Oh, and Ozzy is here. Okay, hello, Ozzy. Hello, Timmy and Tommy. Oh my gosh, I was so heartbroken. So like with Blather's tent, I was also trying to keep Nook's Cranny unupgraded, but so I was just not selling anything to them. I was not selling anything. I would like sell, like if Flick or CJ came to my island, I might like sell stuff to them. But I wasn't selling anything. I was saving all my fossils and all my unwanted furniture, and I was gonna trade it over to my other switch where my main island is and sell it there. so that I could still get the bells, basically. And then I was like, I was trading all this stuff, and I was like, okay, well, this Nook's Cranny's not on my island, so I can probably just sell them. I didn't think until after I had sold all the stuff that actually it might still count as me selling them, which is how you upgrade. You have to buy and sell a certain amount of stuff, basically. And lo and behold, I came back to my island, and like the next day or 2 days later, they were like, oh, we're upgrading Nook's Cranny. And I was like, shoot, I should have just been, in hindsight, I should have just been more careful. Like if I really wanted to not upgrade it, I should have just traded the stuff to my other character as intended, but you know what? That's okay. It is what it is. So I felt a little bit silly about that. It was my intention to not upgrade the shop, but anyway. Coming over, I just came left from Nook's Cranny, but still on the same side of the river, we have Sylvana's house. I gave her a little like bistro table outside. I think the bistro table is really cute. I didn't put any chairs around it though, so just like imagine that there's some chairs there. Because of the item, the way that the item sits within the number of tiles it takes up, the chairs can't get very close, and then if you put chairs around it, then it ends up being like really big and taking up a lot of space. So I didn't put any chairs, but pretend that there's some there. Sylvana's house is also one that needed like a little bit more work. Her original house interior is this like cute little cherry blossom picnic, but as I've said a couple times in other videos, I don't like houses that look like they're outside because that's the inside of their house. That's their house interior. But I did try to keep a little bit of the cherry blossom theming while making it look more like an interior. And then coming back this way, we're gonna go across that bridge. Please ignore that balloon, I will not be getting it. But just coming across that bridge immediately on our, well, I guess on the right if you were, it's my left, but it's the character's right. We have this little picnic bench station with some little cushions set up. Have a little outdoor picnic in the forest by the river. Very cute, very nice, very tranquil. And then over here we have Elmer, who is another lazy villager. So like I said, the lazy villagers like to eat. I gave him a little farm as well. Honestly, I think the little vegetable patches are like a nice way to kind of fill up space that aren't just more trees and bushes, basically. Also, Elmer is just like standing behind his shed. I don't know if he's like stuck in there. I don't think he's actually stuck. I think he walked himself in there, so he's not actually stuck, but he's it's an interesting place for him to be standing, but you know what? To each their own. And Olive is over there too. Hi, Olive. So this I think is exactly what Elmer's house exterior originally was. As soon as he moved to the island and I saw the log cabin, I was like, ooh, yes, okay, good fit, good fit. Very nice. I might have changed one thing, I can't remember, because I accidentally went into the menu to change the exterior, and then once you're in there, you have to change something. Like, I don't think you can just cancel out, or at least when I've done that previously, I've tried to cancel out and it hasn't let me, I think. But anyway, so I added that twig wreath. I think I added that to avoid having to make any other changes. So I'm pretty sure this is what his original house exterior looks like. Oh, he's freed himself from behind the shed and now he's sitting. I love that for you, Elmer. Hell yeah. Elmer surprised me actually. When I was on a villager hunt, I had never seen Elmer before. Like I don't know like every single villager in the game, but I have like a pretty good awareness of at least a lot of the ones that look the way that I like the villagers to look, which is like pretty basic basically. But I'd never really like seen Elmer before, but we were villager hunting and then he turned up and I was like, oh, he's just like a brown horse. It's just a brown horse. And then like I said, his house is like a log cabin exterior. So I was like, okay. My one main gripe is I don't like I guess it's kind of a jacket that he's wearing, but I gifted him a really cute sweater, but he's not wearing it today, so anyway. Actually, this is a great time to mention that I actually made a bunch of cute sweater custom designs for the villagers to wear, and I don't think a single one of them is wearing one during the like main tour footage. I think Ozzy might have had one on in the like clip of him inside his house, but other than that, no one's really wearing them, so that was kind of sad. I say my one gripe, I actually have two, because Elmer's default house is one of those ones that looks like it's the outside, which like I said, I don't really like. You know, it's cute maybe for some people, but I like the houses to look like they're houses, as I've said innumerable times, other than the fact that I don't include any bathroom stuff. But I've said this once before, I think my sort of personal theory is that little like entranceway door bit before it opens up into the main room, I think off the side of one of those can be like a little bathroom, because then I don't have to put the bathroom stuff in this like small square along with the kitchen and the living space and the bedroom. It would just get too cramped. But anyway, here's what I did for Elmer's house interior. So I'll just really quickly double back and show you where we are for context. So like I said, we came down from that bridge from Nook's Cranny and we went that way towards Elmer's house. But if we came back this way, oh my gosh, Flick is here. Hi, Flick. This is where resident services is. So I will go back and continue going around because this is kind of like a big circle basically around a little lake. So we'll just keep moving around that. And next up we have Poncho's house. Like Yuka, Poncho's house is like a little bit more brightly colored. You can see I did still like keep the blue, but I did try and make it like a little bit more muted so that it didn't like stand out quite so much. I feel like it still works, I think, you know? And like I said, I didn't want to just completely like just make them all look like log cabins or something. I feel like that would be really boring. So anyway, here's Poncho's house exterior. Poncho is a villager that I sort of had in my head that I thought he would be a really cute fit for the island. And so I decided to start villager hunting for Poncho. And I think I ended up using like 250 tickets or something like that to find him. I spent a lot of time on stream villager hunting. Well, I say a lot. Actually, in the grand scheme of villager hunts, I think 250 is actually not that high. But this is the only villager hunt I've ever done where I like picked one specific villager that I was gonna get and I villager hunted until I found that one specific villager. Because the only other time I started to do that was for bones for my Fall Town Island, but I ended up giving up and just using an amiibo. But this time I didn't. I found Poncho on stream. It was a glorious moment. Bear cub, bear cub. Holy shit! You guys, it's Poncho! It's Poncho! It's Poncho! Yes! Let's freaking go! Yes! Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, it is a bear cub, so I do also win the points for that. Yes, oh my gosh, thank goodness.
I can't believe you've done this.
Was that a genuine I can't believe you've done this? I feel like usually it's for like a sassy one, but that's a genuine. Oh my gosh. See, look at him, he's so cute. So anyway, Poncho was a villager I really wanted for this island. I think he's so cute. The blue, he's blue, Yuka's blue as well. Like originally I had sort of said I was going for like neutrally colored villagers, but I feel like it's a dark blue, and because they're like a koala and a bear cub respectively, I feel like it still fits, so it's fine. Is he gonna be crafting if we go into his house? I feel like he is, because most of the villagers haven't been home. I was worried Poncho was gonna be crafting, and then it would change the way that his house interior looked, but he's cooking at the station that I gave him, so actually this is the interior that I designed. Poncho's original house interior is this like cute little bunk room setup. It's kind of giving summer camp cabin vibes. So I am definitely making note to replicate it for my upcoming summer camp island. But I wanted to keep the sort of blue theme that he had going on, both with his house and with his body. So yeah, here's what we're doing for Poncho's house. Poncho also is a jock villager, so I did give him a little bit of like sports and like exercise equipment. Also, let's see what he's cooking up. Follow strict workout instructions at the gym. Okay, good for you. Good for you. What are you cooking? Seafood salad. Okay. Okay, I feel like that fits the like athlete style, the gym bro lifestyle. Actually, I don't know if Poncho's a gym bro. I don't know, but you got your nutrients, like vitamins. You got your protein. I like that for you, Poncho. Hell yeah! Thank you for sharing the recipe with me. We're just gonna quickly look around your house. So anyway, yeah, here's Poncho's house. Okay, now we're going again. Bye. And like I said, continuing clockwise, I didn't say clockwise, but continuing around this sort of little lake bit, we come to my house. Also, Blair's here. Hi, Blair. I love Blair in that like little pink dress over the like t-shirt thing. Very cute. Anyway, here's my house. I gave myself a little swing bench. Also, I have mail in my mailbox because I just stopped checking it on this island, and I started trying to clear them before I was recording, but it was just too many letters. And like I said, I haven't really been decorating the beaches much, but I'll just run down and show you. Show you down here. There's Gladys as well. Hi, Gladys. So yeah, here is my house, and I will show you inside my house as well because I did decorate that too. So I did just do the not one house upgrade, but the upgrade. I just only added the one extra room is what I'm trying to say. I didn't want the house to be like too big. Like I said, the whole vibe is like, forest cabins kind of thing for the different houses. So I just went with the one extra room. So here we have a sort of like studio vibe, you know, studio like apartment kind of vibe. So we've got a little kitchen over here. Originally, I was planning on doing like a little floor tile just for this section, but I didn't end up making a custom design for it. And I don't really like any of the carpet tile options available. So I didn't do that. We have our little dining bit and our little lounge, our little bedroom area. Also, in theory, I was going to put like another big rug in, but I didn't have access to any of the rugs that I thought would look good there, so I just didn't put one. And then back here, we have the little bathroom and laundry. I mean, for like the size of the rest of the house, this is a really big bathroom. But you can't change the sizes of the rooms in the house, unfortunately, so ideally, it would be like a little bit smaller. Also, ideally, it would also have some sort of rug. That's okay. We make do. I kind of like the villager houses. I left this doing my house kind of last minute. So I was able to get myself some items from my main Switch where like I have a lot of stuff cataloged. But I didn't want to take like too long doing it, like make too many different trips. So I just kind of made do with some stuff I was able to trade and then stuff that I just kind of had around. But that said, I do think it's pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I also like when I'm doing these, I try not to just make my house like the same because obviously I have my house decorated on my main island kind of like the way I like that's my forever island. So the house there is kind of like very me. So I do try to make it like a little bit different each time I do one of the themed ones. And I do feel like I accomplished that a little bit. So yeah, here is the sort of bathroom laundry room bit. I don't need to be carrying my ladder anymore. We can put that away. Also time for a hydration break. My window is open and a bug just flew in. And by bug, I mean like, I think it's like a wasp. Maybe it's a bee. I'm not like I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. Are you going to be able to get yourself out, sir? Or do I need to stop what I'm doing and help? Okay, it was a honeybee and also it took way too long to get out. But it's gone now. There we go. I had to help it a lot. But anyway, now we can continue with the tour. Oh my gosh. So coming round from my house, we have Gladys's house. Gladys also has a little tub here. These are the, I'll just show you real quick. Those to the left are the cliffs just by the entrance. So that's where we are. For context, yet another balloon that I will not be getting. Also, I can see Sylvana got into like a fight with someone, like a disagreement. What's up? Felt like I was doing my best, but I guess I can't let this go. Uh-oh. Did someone give you a hard time about something? Who was being mean to Sylvana? Who's over here that she might have been talking to? I can't see who that might have been, but whoever it was, you better apologize. Oh, Gladys is back there. Gladys doesn't have the... Would they both have the little... I don't know. I don't know like a whole lot about the different like villager interactions and stuff. But anyway. Gladys's house has this sort of like Asian theming. I don't know a whole lot about like different like where exactly the different sort of Asian styles that are used in this game come from. They aren't really like named like, you know, a lot of the like Zen furniture, for example. I don't know where that is sort of like based on because I don't have a whole lot of like knowledge about like many cultures really, to be honest. But like when, for example, I was doing the like hotel and stuff and it sort of said like Japanese room and I was like, well, I don't really know what exactly is Japanese and what's not. So I'm gonna like go based on like what the game is suggesting for me for that, for example, like the suggested furniture for that theme. And likewise with Gladys's house, Gladys has a lot of sort of like the Zen furniture. She has a sort of like a couple kimono stands and stuff like that. I did sort of try to like keep that stuff basically. So hopefully I did it justice while still sort of making it fit a little bit better with the rest of the island theme basically. So yeah, that's Gladys's house interior. And if we just follow this path back up to resident services, that concludes this tour. I'll go sit at the picnic bench and we can wrap up the video. I'll sit and I'll have a little picnic. Quick little side note actually, as I'm posting this, my family is either still here visiting or have just left, depending on how quickly I get this edited. My mom and my brother are staying with us for a little bit to celebrate my birthday, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow for me, not tomorrow for you. By the time you're seeing this, it will have already been my birthday. But yeah, that's been an exciting time. And then while we're here having our picnic break, just another couple little announcements. In case you don't watch any of my vlogs or tune into my streams, I did get diagnosed last year with ME/CFS, and so working on videos has had to take a little bit of a backseat just while I figured out how to best take care of myself. I'm still going to try to make videos, like I'm not completely giving it up, but uploads are definitely going to be a lot less frequent than I would like. And then also, in case you didn't know, I do have some merch available. The only relevant one to this video is this art print of my dog Joey as an Animal Crossing character, but if you're interested, you can find that and a bunch of other products that I designed over on my fourth wall page, with more coming soon. So between the MECFS and family visiting, if I seemed a little bit more like absent-minded or scatterbrained this video, that's probably why. Also, I know that this island was maybe a little bit less interesting than some of my previous ones. Certainly it was very like samey, but I hope that you enjoyed it all the same. Before we wrap up, I'm just gonna go make sure that I give Punchy that medicine so I don't forget. Okay, here we go. Hi, Punchy. I brought medicine. Yes, I did. I did bring it specifically for you, yes. Oh, there we go. Medicine's not so bad. Oh, good. I'm glad. Punchy, I'm glad you feel better. Oh, an athletic jacket. Okay, well, fine. I didn't need the jacket, but that's okay. There we go. I'm glad you're feeling better, Punchy. If you want more Animal Crossing content from me, I'll include the playlist of all of my tours and build videos and the link to my Twitch VODs channel down below. Also, stay tuned for my next island, which is going to be summer camp themed. As always, thank you all for spending some of your days with me today. I hope you all are doing well and taking care of yourselves, and I will see you again sometime. Bye, everyone.